We'll let some people get in here, hop on over there to live chat. How's everybody doing this morning? I am pouring my coffee right now, trying to get ready. I just got back home from in town. Got some very important paperwork done today and turned in. Man, I'll tell you what, everybody is posting their videos now that I'm live. What's up with that? I don't see any chat. Is anybody out there? Did I mess up on this? It shows I got 4 people watching, but nobody's chatting. My chickens are going crazy out there. I don't know what their deal is. Big old commotion. You guys still watching the ads or what? I guess I was about a minute early. Got 8 people in here. George Rikins, how you doing? He said, how's it going? How is it going with David? It's all right, I guess. Just signed my life away this morning again. Renewed the loan on the house. Well, filled out the paperwork and sent it in. And I'm about to overfill my coffee. Dadgummit. I should have known better. Somebody said something about that on my last live. They said, I just knew you was going to overfill your coffee. I've never done it before until now. Somebody jinxed me, whoever it was that said that. Hey, Patty Price, how are you? Good morning. I guess I'm going to have 2 cups of coffee today. Now I got coffee going on the floor. Let me clean this up real quick. What a morning, what a morning. I've been up since about 3 o'clock this morning. I woke up to it raining. That was interesting. Most of you guys in here probably know that I actually got my bed in the bus now. I got that all set up. All right. Got that mess wiped up. Well, some of it. I got so much stuff on this table. Coffee spilt and went underneath my sewing machine, so now I got to clean that up. It was a mad dash just to get home to try to be here in time for the live. Like, man, I'd hate to miss the live this morning. I think my Monday morning lives is the ones I look forward to the most. Hopefully I can get to Ed's place in May. Does Ed got something planned in May? I didn't know if he'd actually planned something or... Oh, excuse me. Look at that, 11 people in here. Yeah, I had to change the design on the bed a little bit. I got to thinking about it a little more, about hanging it from the roof or the ceiling. And yeah, I didn't like the idea of having a cable right there in the way if I was to try to go up through the emergency hatch. And so I just put blocks underneath of it, basically. Yeah, coffee. Let me show you guys real quick. I don't know if I put a video out there yet. I think I uploaded one on my other channel, but I don't think I've released that video yet. So let me flip the camera around for y'all. You can see there's the bed. We got some black walnut, what is that, 4 3/4 by 4 3/4 basically, post right there that's screwed into this. Now this right here is kind of like a pallet, and it is hinged. Let me see if I can move this cooler. All right, so I think you can see back there, you can see it's got hinges on it to where it can be lifted up, but that thing is super heavy. Well, 3 o'clock this morning, it was raining. It started getting cold in the bus. I turned the diesel heater on. It wasn't working. There was a hole in that diesel line. I don't know if you can see that yellow diesel line right there, but it had a hole in it, and that pump was over there against the wall over there. So I moved it up here, worked on it, got that going. And my little 12-volt cooler fits right in right there. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I got all that set up now. It's pretty nice. Whenever I get out of bed, I'm not like trying to get up off the floor. That's what's nice about it. Somebody asked me in a video I posted yesterday how, I think it was Roberta asked me how tall it was off the floor. I still haven't measured it, but it's about hip height, so I would say about 3 foot or so off the floor. Oh, you got some stuff to give him? George, are you the one that was given that vehicle? Your bus looks very good. See, Crazy Ed said, oh my goodness, David back on the internet. Yep, I'm back. Cool, you're off the floor, Patty Price said. Yeah, that was a pain in the butt to, like, you know, get your butt up off the floor basically every morning. But I mean, the bed was pretty comfortable. I like it. Didn't matter if it was on the floor or up higher, but it is a little nicer up higher. The only thing is, it poured down raining hard last night, and that emergency escape hatch is loud in the rain. I mean, it's kind of like a drum beating on it. It was loud. That woke me up, and so I've been up ever since 3 o'clock. Had to work on the diesel heater, get it working again. Oh, man. Ed said, no, David, George is an old coworker who used to work for the same truck company as, he's my friend. Okay. Yeah, I hope Ed gets that vehicle pretty soon. Let's see, I bet it's hard for me to get, up off the floor. It's getting that way for me. I mean, I can't imagine it getting any easier. That's one reason I didn't want to go apply, which I don't know if you guys have heard about that yet or not. I didn't really want to go apply for the welding job where I used to work. Here we go with that thing doing that deal again. I can't stop it either. But my camera was just sitting there just doing that. I don't know if you guys could see that, but that's crazy. There's Tony from Our Cabin in the Woods. Good morning. Sandy Wilkerson, good morning. Yep. So apparently now, when you try to get a job, you got to use like Indeed, the app Indeed or whatever. I've never used that before. I've always just went in with a resume and said, here you go. Usually they look at it and they're like, when can you start? And how much do you want? That's usually how that conversation goes. Well, now you got to do this Indeed stuff and all this computer crap. Ugh. You can't even go in there in person and interact, human to human with them anymore, I guess. But yeah, that welding job, that place, as far as I know, there's not, like, you don't have to get on your hands and knees and weld or anything. It's kind of a laid back, easy welding job. Last time I worked there, I was their TIG welder, and I don't even know if they've ever been able to find a TIG welder since I left, but surely they have. But I went in there and all I had to do was 4 parts a night, so that was a pretty easy job. It was just really boring, and I cannot stand a job where you just stand around holding a broom. Yeah, all on the internet now. It sucks. Yeah, and you know, I've tried working for the guy down the hill from me. He has an excavating company down here. I've talked to him before, and he's like, "Oh, I've barely got enough work for my family." So, I mean, I could go drive a dump truck for him or something, but the thing is, dump truck pay doesn't pay very good. Uh, but they would probably pay me more just because I can work on stuff and maintain stuff and everything. Plus, I mean, a job like that, I can do everything. I can run heavy equipment. I've done that for many years. Let's see, I think is 8 or 10 years of my trucking career was actually heavy haul, where I hauled heavy equipment around and I ran the heavy equipment and I worked on it. That was a company where I would typically work 150 hours in a week sometimes, and it wasn't all driving. I'd do a little bit of driving, but I would get out to western Oklahoma or something like that with the equipment, unload it, and I would tear down, uh, like the old feedlot silos, stuff like that, and load it up, haul it off, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I like that kind of work because it's always something different. You're not doing the same thing over and over. And that's why I applied for this job, just running a yard dog truck, because that's not all you do. You have to organize trailers on the lot, moving semi trailers around, backing them into the docks, and you help unload those with a forklift. So you're also a forklift driver too. So, and I'm pretty sure it's actually a company that my wife had worked for once before, and it's a pretty decent job. But yeah, I mean, whenever you finally decide that you're going to get a job, and then you're like, well, where would I want to work? That's kind of a weird thing, just to ask yourself, like, where would I actually want to work? I mean, normally, whenever I went out and got a job, I just went and got a job like wherever I found out was hiring. Like someone would say, "Oh, this place over here is hiring. Uh, go see if you can get a job there." And so I just go get a job there, right? But now I'm thinking a little differently. I'm like, well, where would I want to work? I mean, honestly, I want to work here for myself. Um, Problem is, I can't make any income with this sawmill business. A lot of people said, "Man, you should be making tons of money with that sawmill." I'm like, "Yeah, you would think, but not making anything with it right now." Glad to hear you got a job that you will enjoy. Who did? Roberta. Who got a job that they're going to enjoy? I ain't got a job yet. Applying for a job and getting a job is two different things. I applied for jobs probably unsuccessfully, because the biggest problem is Indeed. I put my resume and everything in, right? I type, take it from a piece of paper, type it in, and then this place that I applied for, they use a different. It's not Indeed. They use something else, and so I try to upload my resume to their thing, and it didn't work. So I don't know what's up with that. I don't know how to overcome that obstacle. Roberta said, "Oh, I just came in. I thought you were talking about a job you just got." Sorry. No, I ain't got a job yet. If I had a job, I'd probably be there. No, this morning I actually went in, uh, and that's a whole nother thing. Like talking about how my wife is a very unpleasant person. The lady at the bank today got to experience that, because my wife is now a manager at a store and she's in a big old hurry to get to work, blah, blah, blah. And I said, "Hey, we have to get this done. This is like super important. If we don't get this paperwork done right now, get it sent back in because it's very time sensitive, then they could go ahead and foreclose on us, right? So we had to go in and get these papers notarized. We go in there, and she was just being a, you know what, and being impatient with me. And I'm like, hey, because she's trying to go through these papers and unorganize them. And I said, no. It specifically says, I've read through this stuff. It says right here, do not get these papers out of order. And even the notary lady was kind of being a butt because they don't like notarizing another bank's loan papers for them. But the bank, Carrington Mortgage Company, who I'm, been passed off to basically, uh, they're out of wherever the heck they're out of, right? They're a huge bank. They're not here local. And so that's another problem right there. But both of them was kind of being a butt because the notary lady's like expecting me to tell her how to do her job. I'm like, I don't know. I said, you've got to notarize some of these papers. She goes, well, what am I notarizing? I said, loan papers, like we're redoing a loan. And, the loan modification and the, I can't remember the wording for it, but I told her at the time. And whew, I tell you what, those two, let's see, maybe you need to sell wood. Well, yeah, I would think you undercut Lowe's or Meeks in price by a few dollars. People, shoot. No, I undercut them by hundreds of dollars, basically, because I don't have pine, right? So I don't sell 2x4s and 2x6s. I mean, I can sell that, but it's oak, all right? Basically for, hardwood for like cabinets or, stuff like that. All right. So let's say, I mean, you can't get a 2x anything in oak at Lowe's, but you can get like a 1x, which is actually 3/4 of an inch thick. You can get that at Lowe's. So like, let's say a 3/4 by 6 by 8 foot long is going to probably, I mean, look it up on Lowe's.com or whatever right now. You're probably a 3/4 or a 1x6 by 8 foot. You're probably looking at 40 or 50 bucks. I would sell that same board here for $12, and somebody would show up here to buy it and literally chew me out, telling me they can go get it for less at Lowe's. And I'm just like, sure you can. Go to Lowe's then. If that's what you really think, go to Lowe's. If you go to Lowe's and you look up a 1x6 by 8 foot long of white oak, you're looking at 40, 50, 60 bucks maybe. And I'm charging $12. I undercut them big time. People aren't buying. Everybody, I mean, if I post stuff on Facebook Marketplace, everybody wants everything for free. They don't want to pay nothing for it. It's weird. And, like the coffee table I made, I can't even get anyone to like offer $100 on it or anything. I mean, I wouldn't take $100 for it. But yeah, you can't make money like that. You've got to have people buying it. I mean, if I make furniture and sell it, I can't sell it on here, obviously. But if I was to take it to some company like Wesco or something, like a $4,000, table or whatever, made out of black walnut, if I take it to them, they would give me maybe $1,500 on it. And then they're going to turn around and sell it to somebody for $3,000 or $4,000. That's kind of how that deal works. So, and I'm not set up to be able to run that kind of production to, spit out 5 or 6 coffee tables or, whatever per week. I would have to have a kiln going and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's not working. So, and I've got to make a house payment by the 1st of next month. So I got to get a job. Let's see. Sadly, Patty, people believe that buying product from a person versus a business, the buyers tend to believe they should get everything super cheap, even free. People would rather buy from a store. Yeah, that's what I found out. Even if I had pine here, I can't undercut. I cannot undercut those big mills on cutting up 2x4s, 2x6s, 2x12s, because even though buying the logs is going to be cheaper per se, if I was to buy pine logs, but my operating cost is still the same. Maybe I can spit out a little bit more board footage, but it's still rough cut. And then if I go through and I plane it down and I straighten the boards and everything, I mean, when you get wood off of a sawmill, it's rough cut, it's not straight, it's not S4S. 26 people watching. Heck yeah, we got 12 thumbs up. Thank you guys. Um, Good morning, Don Lee. Uh, I mean, here's the other thing, like the patches that Don Lee worked on and everything. I still haven't got to work on the new files that you sent me. I haven't been able to try those out. I've been trying to edit video, work on the bus, because I'm going to have to get a job, and hopefully my wife will find another place to live here before too long. And once she moves out, then that's when I'm going to go to a local bank and try to refinance the house again and get it solely in my name, because before she was not on it. Now they put her on it this time around. So that creates more BS that I got to deal with whenever we get a divorce. Uh, but when we get a divorce and once it's finalized, getting her taken off of she's not on the loan, she's only on the deed. So that's kind of the funny part, is she's not responsible for paying for it, but she's still part owner of the house. Kind of weird. Uh, but that's all they did. They did not put her on the loan, they put her on the deed when they redone it. And I was like, how can they do that? She's never been on it before. And I guess it's because she's the only one that has a JOB. And since I'm self-employed and they can only go by my end of year tax return, then I guess they don't want to show me on there, just me on there. So I don't know. It's weird. So that means later on I get to go through all the paperwork and everything of getting her taken off. I'm not going to put a dime into that house until the divorce is final and she's taken completely off the deed and the loan, like everything. Like, I want to make sure everything is good to go and it's all mine before I put anything into it, because she's destroyed it. So I'm not sinking money into the house to deal with that. Your comforter had me confused. Then I realized it was a sleeping bag. I got 2 sleeping bags on there. I basically kind of use them as a comforter. Uh, Man, it was nice and warm underneath those blankets last night, and the rain was just coming down. I had to get up to use the bathroom, and it was cold in the bus. I mean, it was cold. It had to be down in the 30s, 40s or something. It just felt really cold. I tried to kick that diesel heater on, and whew. No, I think what? No, I think Ed said no work on his place for 3 months. Wonder why he wouldn't be working on his place for 3 months. I don't think that's what he said. I think he was, the last live he did, I thought he was saying that he wasn't going to be doing any lives for a while. That he was going to be doing some videos, some fishing and stuff like that. And that's cool. But yeah, that's been my morning this morning, dealing with the paperwork, getting everything signed and notarized. And then they had my wife sign a paper that her name wasn't on. I had to argue with them that, her name wasn't on there. She didn't have to sign that one because it was actually the loan modification. Her name's not on that, but her name is on the deed, so she had to be there to sign that one. Otherwise, I mean, it should have just had to been me there, because when we first got the place, she wasn't on it. And somehow they've managed to get her name on there now. I mean, because we're married, it still gives her rights to it, right? But uh, I wish I had gotten papers when we got married. I wish I'd gotten papers just saying that she had no rights to nothing. Maybe he won the lottery. Ed, did you win the lottery? I wish I had won the lottery. He's putting money back into an account and get everything he needs. Then do another weekend get together. He said over other night. Yeah. Yep, that's what I'm pretty sure that's what he was saying. Patty Price has got it right there. What is the state law about who gets what in a divorce? Well, there is no state law saying who gets what. It's basically 50-50. But the other thing is, if she wants to do 50-50, she can pay the $9,000 something that's going to have to be paid in 2062 when the house is paid for. That's a promissory note that we had to sign today on it. So that right there is kind of going to be like a balloon payment or whatever. Basically took part of what we were behind, I guess. I don't know. It's a guarantee, a promissory note, where X amount of dollars is set off to the side, and some people tend to not pay attention to that, and they sell their house and they don't put that on there. They get a payoff, right? If you was to ask your lender for a payoff, and they send you this amount, and you forget about that other $9,000, $10,000, whatever, then you try to sell it, and they're like, well, wait a minute, everything's not paid. You got to come up with the money for this, blah, blah, blah. And it makes it hard to sell because you got to have that extra money. The other thing is, I think I lost my $50,000 in equity that I had on it. And I didn't necessarily lose it. They just refinanced. Originally, the house loan was like $150,000, and now it's like $110,000. They tacked on another $9,000 and something. Oh, okay, I see. That is good, I guess, because she won't want to take on any payments. Well, typically, what I've seen happen here in Missouri, if you get a divorce, a lot of times, I mean, it really depends on what you agree on or whatever. But a lot of times what they'll do is say, okay, you got to give half of what this house is worth or whatever. You end up having to put it on the market and sell it. And they basically split that 50-50 after everything is paid for. But for the last 19 years I've been working and she hasn't. I've been paying everything. And there's other things like, the embezzlement where she stole a lot of money from me. Yeah. I don't want to bring all that crap up in court. There's other things I don't want to bring up in court. But, she don't want half of it or nothing. She knows she has no real, she hasn't paid nothing for this. Focus, unfocus. Oh, you're seeing that too? Yeah. I move and it does weird stuff. Ed said Don Lee is correct. Oh, you won the lottery, Ed? He's probably working right now. Wait. Today's Monday. Ed shouldn't be working today. He's supposed to be off today. Are you out fishing, Ed? I wish I'd have the whole damn place done. Yeah. Unfortunately, you need to get some plywood on them walls or something on the walls to help with the wind shear on it, and then get the roof on and everything. And once you get some walls and roof on there, man, you're pretty well set. Everything else you can do whenever the heck you feel like it. Yep. 30 people in here. Shoot dang. Patty Price said, we agreed who got what. He kept house. I kept my car and truck. The main thing is to agree before you get to court. Yeah, I'm hoping we don't even have to go to court. It should just be basically, what's up, Ivies? Uh, it should just be basically go to the lawyer, get the papers drawn up or whatever. Both of us sign it, agree to it, send it in or whatever, and they say, okay, it's good to go, whatever. We may have to show up in court or something, and for the judge to say, okay, and, bang the gavel on the deal and call it all good. There's not going to be any kind of custody crap or anything like that, because my youngest son is 16, and that was a whole nother ordeal this morning. A big old argument about him dropping out of school, and my wife is all about letting him drop out. She enticed my oldest son, that was 18, for him to drop out of high school. I told my youngest son, I said, you need to get off your butt and bring your grades up. He's got straight F's right now. I flipped out over that. I said, you need to get your grades up. You've got 2 weeks to show me that your grades are coming up, or I'm taking the keys to your truck. And I said, I don't care if you got another key to it. I'll take the damn wheels off your truck if I have to. And my wife starts yelling at me that I ain't doing that it's not my truck. And I said, look, it ain't my truck. It's my son. And I want him to have good grades. And she goes, well, I'm taking him out of school anyway. And I said, that's where we got a freaking problem. So yeah, parenting issues like that, I'm done. I am done with it. She wants to let them all drop out. I am just super hopeful that my daughter has a better head on her shoulders. I'm pretty sure she is. She's taken some interest in, a little bit of the woodworking and stuff. She's starting to take some woodworking classes and stuff in school. She's taken some interest in sewing, stuff like that. And I think she wants to learn business management or something. And I told her, so, well, if I can, whenever it comes time for you to go to college, I'll try to help you as much as I can. I said, so you better get good grades, and hopefully you get a scholarship or something so you can, get your college paid for. And then, whatever else, if you need a vehicle or something, I'll try to, make sure that happens. But, my sons, they're too freaking much like me. I dropped out my 11th grade year. I mean, there was other things behind that. It was my ordeal was a kid that I knew in school got caught with marijuana in his locker, and the principal called me into his office, and he told me, I don't want your kind in this school. And the principal was actually the woodshop teacher, and I made straight A's in woodshop. I mean, I thought me and him was good, and I had nothing to do with that stuff, right? So he accused me of that stuff, and that's when I said, you know what, I'm done. And that's when I dropped out. I kind of wish I hadn't, but at the same time, I never let it hold me back. But I keep telling my kids, I'm like, look, that education will help you a lot. I mean, there's people out there with jobs. Like, if my son, my oldest, he is super smart. If he was to go into IT, he would do really good. But he dropped out, so I don't foresee him even going to school for that. And he's working at a pizza place. I said, man, you're kind of throwing your life away. I hope whatever you decide to do in life, I just hope that you're happy. You don't need to be a doctor or a lawyer or anything like that. You just need to be happy with whatever it is you're doing. But, that education makes it a little bit easier to be happy. Missing out on some chat here. T111 costs money. I don't know what T111 is. Oh, dang, failure is not an option. Yeah. Ed has no money is what the problem is. Yeah. Yeah, what that job's paying kind of sucks. We've talked about that before. Love the photo you shared of your daughter working with you in your bus. Yep. She don't like to hang out with me too much. She's, teenager, likes to do teenager girl stuff. And she usually just sits in her room. Like, she'll get home off the bus and she goes up to her room and sits there and talks with her friends on the phone forever. Oh, Ed's burning a huge burn pile. Cool. Did you get hammered with that rain this morning, Ed? It come down hard here like several times. Roberta said, I love woodshop class, one of my favorite electives. Yeah, I did a lot of woodshop. I tried getting into the Votech stuff, like the welding and small engine repair, auto body, machining, and all that kind of stuff. They wouldn't let me do it. They said the class was full every year. Crazy as said, it rained all night long here. Our cabin in the woods said, raining here now. Tony, you're over in Oklahoma. It's raining in Oklahoma? Keep that rain over yonder. I got work to do. Hey, there's JB Conway. So, hey, and blessings. How goes it today? Well, hopefully good. Got the paperwork sent in on the loan for the house to get that redone. Yeah, that a lot of interest tacked onto that deal. Basically, it's almost like starting over on the loan to see how much I still owe on it. I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I gotta, once I get the house free and clear, divorce finalized and everything, then I'll start putting money into the house on fixing it up. But I think what I'm going to do is on weekends and stuff, I'm going to start sawmilling and start getting hardwood flooring together. I need to work on the kiln, get that insulated, and get a large wood burning stove built into it so I can heat it. And I guess I'm gonna have to try to come up with about $7,000 for I think it's a Nile dry kiln. Get a kiln installed in there so I can actually start drying the lumber. And another thing, I mean, once I get a kiln, an actual kiln set up, that will help with the business side of things to where I can actually maybe start hiring people to come out and run the sawmill, load wood in the kiln, and then start selling lumber to the local cabinet shops and stuff. We got a few cabinet shops around here that I thought about doing some work for. Got another deal that I might be able to work on for a large mill around here. Their biggest problem is they don't have enough kilns, and the DNR won't let them put any more kilns out there on their property. They've got, I don't even know how many acres now. It's probably a couple hundred acres, and they've got hundreds of kilns out there right now from what I've been told, and the DNR won't let them put any more kilns out there. So they need people with kilns to try to keep up with demand. JB said, just getting started. Hey, girlfriend, miss you. I think that's what GF means, but oh. Patty Price's oldest son and Bubby and sister Sue are going to Shoot Dang, asking if JB's going to Shoot Dang. JB says she's still planning on it. Mr. MT Homestead in the house. What's up, Mike? I'm hoping I can go to Shoot Dang Fest, but that is very highly dependent on what job I get and when I have to work and all that kind of stuff. So, what's up, Ultimate Acres? Why is my chat never moving for me? I always got to scroll this thing. Patty said, hi, Mike and Terry. JB saying, hi, Mike, or howdy, Mike. At work and just listening. Now, that's the kind of job I want, where I can get back to watching the lives and listening to the lives and stuff while I'm driving or whatever. Might be kind of hard to do if I'm doing forklift stuff, but yeah, I could probably just put an earbud in like I used to do and have the phone in my pocket and be able to listen in on lives. Let's see. Ivy said, try doing woodworking bench kits like Matt. There they sell like hotcakes. If you have a big following, and I'm pretty sure the Matt you're talking about, he's got a big following. I've been following him for years. Matt Cremona, I guess you're probably talking about. Yeah, he started up a deal where he was doing chair kits, but he also pays someone else to do that stuff for him too. And then he's got the warehouse and all that kind of stuff. And he really got a good start with that huge sawmill. He's got a really good niche, and he has a kiln, a vacuum kiln local to him that makes that possible. I don't know of anybody within 60 miles of me that has a kiln that can dry my lumber for a decent rate. Um, yeah, it would be hard for me to get someone around here with a kiln. I've got to get a kiln myself. I've had some people ask me if I had a kiln where I could dry lumber for them, and with a dehumidifier kiln, it takes too long and it wouldn't make sense. Ivy said yes, that Matt Matt Cremona. Yeah, I've learned a little bit of woodworking stuff from him. He likes to use like scrapers and stuff like that, and I don't really get into that. I'd rather use a sander, but he does some pretty cool stuff. Patty Price at Cool JB Conway, maybe we can get together and go out and eat. And who else wants to go? Hint, hint. Robert and Jan, or Roberta and Jan. Is Jan in here? Did I miss her? I don't think she's in here right now. Where'd that go? You can get her off the deed without doing a refi. Okay. I guess I just got to go down to the title company and do that. Have this. I imagine it might, after we get a divorce, it might become an issue with her. She'll be like, oh, I'm not going down there taking my name off of it. I can see that. I don't know. She keeps saying, I don't want nothing to do with it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, good. That's great. Thank you. JB Conway said, I keep trying to get Roberta to come. I will even help. Caucasian Sasquatch. I don't know. I'm new here. What's up, Caucasian Sasquatch? That's a wicked thumbnail picture you got there. I'm thinking about going to the shoot dang. Depends on my car situation and other plans. That's from Roberta. No, she's not yet. I would like to go. I would like to take the bus. Caucasian Sasquatch. Hi, how are you? Thanks. I'm doing all right. That's what we all say, right? I'm doing all right. Even though there's all kinds of BS going on, right? I'm doing all right. I'm still kicking, but I think I may have a kidney stone starting or something. My left kidney has been hurting since yesterday afternoon, like something fierce. But not as bad as like when you actually, like when a kidney stone gets really bad and you have to go to the hospital type thing. It ain't like that. I think JB has to deal with those daggum things all the time. But I've had one kidney stone before, and I guess a whole bunch of others with it. But only one big one that was a little bit of an issue. I had to go get a CAT scan and stuff done on it. I'm hoping that's not the case. But hopefully this coffee and all the water and Gatorade I've been drinking, hopefully that helps flush it out. Coffee will probably just make it worse. Was Ivy okay? Okay, need to get to work. All right, Ivy, we'll see you. I need to see about getting you to make me a fire poker, Ivy. I think it was you that made a fire poker for somebody, but I need a little bitty one, like not very big at all, for this little bitty tiny wood burning stove. I could probably make one myself, but what's the use in that? I've got that. I got a semi truck brake drum, and I need to probably get some pipe welded on it so I can get a fan on there, and I could probably just put some charcoal in there and be able to get some steel hot enough to forge something out. Javi said, "I got you." I had left side blasted. Oh, just before we went to Ed's. Oh my gosh. My aunt has to get that done like at least once a year. She goes in and I guess they put her in a tub or something, some kind of ultrasonic tub or something to blast her kidney stones. And she's been like that ever since I was a kid. And I'm like, man, I've seen her in severe pain before. Uh, oh, there's Paul Honeyman. Good morning, Paul. Let's see here. I can't even click on anybody anymore. All right, we'll see you, Ivy. Roberta said, you found a great channel in Caucasian Sasquatch. Paige Shirley, sorry, I watch your channel when I can. What are your plans long term for your bus? Just traveling or full-time living? Well, since I got the latest news on being able to keep my house rather than lose it, I'm going to be getting a job. So I'm going to continue paying on my house, and while I renovate it, I will be living in the bus. I don't plan on living in it. So basically, I'm waiting for my wife to find a place of her own to move to, go through the divorce and everything, get everything finalized. Once that's finalized, then I will start renovating the house, fixing everything that's been tore up in it and everything, get everything back to where it actually looks like a house again. And then at that time, I'll probably sell it. And then I'll still have the bus to live in and be able to hopefully make enough money off of selling the house to go buy a piece of raw land to move the bus onto and use the sawmill and everything to start building my own house. How long that's going to take, I have no idea. Because right now, I really have no idea how long it's going to take for my wife to find a place and for her to move out. I think that she thinks she's just going to stay here without having to pay rent or anything. That ain't going to happen. Because if I have to, and I start making these payments again on it, and I got to go and be the one who gets a lawyer, gets the papers drawn up for a divorce and everything. Once the divorce is finalized, I'm going to say, look, you can start paying rent or get out. Depends. Are you drying the timber or wet building? Well, if I'm going to build my own house, hopefully I'll have the kiln finished out. It's not going to be something that's going to happen in a year or two, that's for sure. Most likely, I mean, we're talking years down the road. But this is kind of a general idea. I want to be debt-free. I want to be off-grid. I will still have the electric turned on here at the house to be able to run the well and everything. But it's really hard to renovate a house if you're living in it. So I'm going to have the bus here to live in, right in the front yard. And so I'll be renovating the house. I'll be drying the lumber. I've got a 20-foot shipping container out here, and that is my kiln as of right now. When I thought I was going to be losing the house, I was going to move the kiln and actually put all my woodworking tools and everything in that. I was going to buy just a small piece of property and be debt free, but didn't have enough money to do that. I've been working on the bus little bit by little bit, and so now I've got to get a job, start paying on the house again, so I can keep that and then renovate it. But I will be drying the lumber that goes into the house. Not building a house. I'm just doing hardwood flooring. You cannot do hardwood flooring that's green. If you do that, it'd be the stupidest thing you ever done. You can't do it. You have to dry your hardwood flooring, because if you don't, it's going to shrink up. You have these 1/4-inch gaps in between every board. Everything will be splitting out on you. You can't do that. You can build a house like rough cut or whatever, but you're not doing hardwood flooring necessarily. JB said David has done both. He does really nice furniture pieces too. Yeah. Every now and then I'll do something like that. If you go check out hoods.custom.shop on Instagram, you can go through there and see pictures and all the different stuff I've done. You can go back and look through all my older videos and kind of see some of the stuff I've done. I've got a lot of videos, a lot. I get people asking me questions all the time, like, how did you put the insulation up in your bus? And it's like, go back and look at the videos. I hate to sit there and answer those questions when people could just simply go back and watch the videos and kind of get up to speed on the bus build. I built hunting cabins off grid, mostly wet builds, basically walls and roofs, sort of a wooden tent. Yeah. I mean, you can do that. It depends on the level of woodworking, like what you're aiming for a finished product. You can build with green lumber for sure. There's certain ways to build with it. Like, in one board, you don't put two fasteners side by side, because when that wood shrinks, if there's two fasteners side by side, it's either going to break the fasteners or it's going to split the wood. Most likely it's going to split the wood. So I mean, there's ways of building with green, and you can do it. It just it depends on kind of how rustic you want it to look in the end. But on this house, I'm aiming for to raise the property value, not lower it. So I can't really be working with wet lumber in there. Paige Shirley says, sounds like a good plan. You should have that put in writing about how long she can stay in the home. Get an ex-spouse evicted is hard to do. Let me say, in the state of Florida. I know. You could have like people rent from you, or even squatters that never rented from you, and they're in your property. It can be a huge pain to get them out. But when I go through the divorce, that's going to be in those divorce papers that she has X amount of time to get out. My kids, I'm not going to make them get out, by no means, but she definitely. I'm not putting up with her anymore. It's just, I hate talking about this stuff on my lives, but like this morning, the BS I went through, it sticks with you, and that's kind of just, it messes with your mindset. The biggest problem I've noticed with me is, if I was out here in the bus and I didn't interact with her at all, ever, I can be creative, I can get things done, but I get up in the morning, I go in there, fix breakfast or something as the kids are getting ready for school, she's getting ready for work or something, and then there's this interaction or whatever, and it ain't good. It messes with me on being productive. It messes with me on being creative. It pretty much it puts me in a mood where I don't want to do anything. I mean, and I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning, so that and I might sit out here and have that phone. And this happened earlier, actually. Sitting there holding the phone up there, and I'm talking to the camera, and then I start going off on a tangent like right now about stuff that I'm like, man, I really don't want to put this stuff on YouTube, but I'm just being realistic, 100%. This is me. This is what I'm going through right now. This is my life situation right now that I'm dealing with. And sometimes some people will put comments on videos and stuff, and I might be a little bit short with them. I don't realize it at the time, but I struggle to have enough time to sit there and comment back to people. And sometimes I probably shouldn't even comment back. I should probably just put a heart on it, like let you know that I read your comment and just move on. But some comments sometimes rub me the wrong way, and I'm just like kind of short with them, and I don't really mean to. But at the same time, it's because of the crap that I'm going through right now that it's a lot to deal with. And to try and do all these different things I'm trying to do, I got a lot on my plate. Look for a job, do YouTube and everything. And I don't really want to put YouTube on the back burner. I've poured the last 3 years of my life into YouTube, even though I've been on here for pretty much like 13 years or so. The last 3 years, I've really, really tried to grow this YouTube channel. And the bad thing is I feel like it's kind of suffering right now because of all the BS I'm going through. So if I'm short with you, I'm sorry, but hey, just, it is what it is. Let's see here. Patty Price said, move another woman in there. If she refuses after the divorce, that might work. I don't know. Yeah, I ain't doing that. But, it would have to be after the divorce, that's for sure. I mean, there's some things I could bring up that would work in my favor that's happened. And I think I'm a pretty good person for still having her around after some things that she's done. Let's see. It might work, but not in front of the kids. Luckily, my kids are pretty well grown, and my daughter, I've got high hopes for her because, like this morning, the ordeal talking about my son and telling him to get off his butt and bring his grades up, or I'm going to make him quit his job. I'm going to take his truck away from him until he gets his grades up. And then what my wife was saying, and my daughter's just like, just quit. So I said, all right. And I walked outside, came back out to the bus. I was like, I'm done. Roberta said, we all are going through things in our lives that others know nothing about. We put a smile on our face and present ourselves the way the world insists we do, as though life is perfect. We need to be real. Crazy as David, just be you and do what you got to do. Screw everybody else. Thank you, Ed. That's kind of how I feel about it. Ultimate Acre said, we take it as it comes. Yeah. With limits, of course, but real to those who are our family. Yeah, and a lot of you, like Roberta, she kind of knows a lot of the stuff behind the scenes. I mean, being able to talk about things off camera and stuff like that. She knows a little bit more than what I'm going to, put out there on YouTube. Paul Honeyman said, I got a thick skin, so just be you, David. Yeah, you do. Don't point fingers. Just work together for the betterment of progress. That's what I've been trying to do for years. And I tell you, this morning at the bank trying to get these papers notarized, I mean, her and the bank lady both were really pushing my buttons. My wife is like, I hadn't even got to look these papers over, blah, blah, blah. I said, you know what they are. And had you got home before midnight, you would have, had the chance to look over them. Not my problem. She knew dang good and well we had them. They come in Saturday. That's like 2 days that she had to look at them. And, I'm like, just look over them right now. We're not in a big hurry. But she was in a big hurry to get to work and everything. And I'm like, whatever. Look at it. Read it. It basically means you don't have to pay nothing, but you got to sign that you're still on the deed. She acted like she was signing her life away or something. Kids or not, you got to be you. Yeah. I mean, I hope my kids see this and they learn something from it to, I don't know, maybe to be more sure of when you find that someone to be in your life that you're more sure. I mean, I had red flags, and it still sits in my mind. Back when I first met her, I loaded up the little 2-man scamp, and I said, "Hey, you want to go down to the creek with me and go fishing?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." And so she tags along, and I get to this little creek there in Joplin, is called Shoal Creek. I get there, the water ain't moving fast or nothing like that. And she just kind of blew up on me. She's like, I ain't getting in that blah, 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 in that scamp and all this and that. And she's like, take me home now. I'm like, wow, okay. So I took her back to her mom's house, dropped her off. I'm like, I'm going fishing. I paid hell for that. And you know what? Looking back on it now, I should have said, you know what? See ya. I should have moved on then. So, but, had I done that, I wouldn't probably have the kids that I have now. And I can't, take that back. And I wouldn't want to take it back. But it's been a hard 19 years. You'll learn who your real friends are on here, and then you'll have people walk away from you. It is probably a blessing when they do. Yeah. George Rackin says, take it day by day. Does not matter the age. You don't want that as one of their memories. Yeah, but life is life. Yeah, I'm not in a hurry to find someone else. I kind of like it just being me, myself, and I, because then I don't have to worry about someone else's feelings or them being comfortable or whatever. I can live in this bus and be perfectly comfortable. I mean, this is like a mansion to me. I lived in a 36-inch flat top sleeper. I mean, when I stood up in my truck, I was like this. All right, had my head bent down all the time in there. The washing machine that was in my truck, I took the passenger seat out of my semi, and I put a little bitty washing machine there, and that's what I'm going to put in here. Excuse me. That's what I'm going to put in here over top of this fender well behind the bathtub. And that's what I'm going to use to do my laundry, and I'm going to see about getting a retractable clothesline to put up in here, probably over top of the shower, and be able to hang my clothes up and dry them right there. Basically, I don't know. You guys see how long it's taken me to build this bus to this point, right? On very, very minimal income. I mean, we're talking like a couple $100 a month is what I get off of YouTube, right? Sometimes not even that. And then the donations that some of you guys have sent in, that is what I've used over the last several months to build this bus out, right? I used the money that the government sent out, the stimulus stuff, my portion that I got after my wife got hers and everything. They all got their part, right? I used that to pay off the minivan. I traded that for a Mustang. I fixed the Mustang, so I put sweat equity into that Mustang. I sold that, use that money to buy this bus. I've gotten a considerable amount of help from people to help buy materials for the bus, but you kind of see like the process I went through and where I'm at now with this bus and with the house. We're looking at like $344,000 if I pay that out over the next 30 years or whatever it is, 2062 or whatever that date is. That's a lot of money, and that is a lot of years. So my goal right now is to fix this house up to a point where I feel like I can sell it and make some kind of profit off of it, then take that little bit of profit and go buy a piece of land that is 100% paid for, where I have no payments. I don't want anything where I got to make payments on anything. That's why I want to live in the bus, because I've got solar that I got to get hooked up on it. I should be able to not have to pay an electric bill ever again. That is my goal, is to become debt-free, stay debt-free. And you know what? The only debt I plan on probably getting is when I get this job, I'm going to be paying for the house for one. But the other thing is I'm going to go get me a pickup truck. I'm going to be looking for a crew cab, four-wheel drive, at least probably a 1-ton truck. That way I finally get something to show for my work. I've went all these years, since 2007, I've been driving that old beat up red Dodge pickup out there. And it's just a miracle that the transmission hasn't went out, that I haven't had any issue, like real issues with it. I've had to put just minimal amount of money into that vehicle. And I've never ever paid a mechanic to work on anything. I always work on my own stuff. Well, I take that back. I did pay a mechanic before, as a buddy of mine, to come out and help me on my semi truck. But other than that, like any cars or pickups or anything like that that I've ever owned, I don't pay mechanics to do that. I did back when I was like 16 years old, but I didn't know much back then. Ever since then, I've always done all my maintenance work and everything myself. My semi truck, I had to pull the motor out, replace that all by myself. You know, everything I have is because of the blood, sweat, and tears that I've put into it. I've lost a house before. I got foreclosed on back in 07, 08, right around in there. And I still had to pay for that. They garnished my wages $100 every week, and they took my tax return every year until that 97,000, whatever it was, 500, 900, whatever. I think it was 97.9 is what it was. I paid that almost $100,000 for a house, and somebody else is living in it right now. I paid for that, and I can't live in it. It's crazy. That's the same thing I'm dealing with this house. If I was to lose it, I would still have to pay for it. It's one of those rural development loans, RD loan. So I'm hoping that I can get this house refinanced or something and maybe get a better deal. The biggest thing is what I'm paying every month on the security of that loan. I can't remember what they call it exactly, but when you get a rural development loan, it's like a low income, like a HUD loan or whatever, basically. So basically the government guarantees that loan, and there is a huge amount that you pay every month on that being guaranteed by the government. So if I was to get a traditional loan from a local bank, then I get rid of that huge fee, which is like $100 and some odd a month, taken off of that. That would drop me down to $400 or $500 a month on the minimum payment, and I would actually be able to pay more and get it, pay it off in like 12 years instead of 30, and that would save probably a couple $100,000. Ultimate Acres, I understand it does sting during the process. God bless you. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I've tried to fight it off for years. I've had people say, how can you walk away from your kids or whatever, abandon your kids and blah blah blah, whatever. It's like, it ain't me. It ain't me at all. I've tried to keep this relationship together way too freaking long. Um, and, like my mother in law says, she's like, you guys got to do something. You need to split up or something. I mean, when we were just friends, we were great together, but try to be in a relationship, it ain't working. And 19 years of that, of her not working and me working, I'd be gone for months and months at a time, come home, and there's still nothing left. The amount of money I made per month was insane. Once I owned my own semi truck and I busted my butt, working way more than a person should ever work in 24 hours. Uh, and then to come home and not have anything. And I had bought and paid for that minivan for her. That was like 10,000 something plus, whatever I paid on top of that. And then I paid it off several times. She kept going and renewing a loan on it. And finally I paid it off, put it solely in my name, and that's how I ended up with this bus. I just told her, I said, nope, this is the last time I'm paying for it. The deal was that when that minivan was paid off for the last time, that I was going to go out and get a better pickup. Not a new one or anything, but a better one. Something a little more reliable, a little heavier duty to do the stuff that I do. And what did she do? She went out, she finally got a job, and she bought a freaking car. Went deep into debt over that, and I said, all right, that's it. You want that car, you pay for that car. I'm not doing it. Minnesota gal said, 3 divorces behind me, just got to keep going. Some days smiles ain't happening. My kids were my focus always. That's been my focus. And, I wish they would choose to live with me. And, if they did, I probably wouldn't be living in the bus. I'd be living in the house. But, they're going to want to go with their mom because she lets them do whatever they want. That's the facts. Whichever parent says, yeah, go run with your friends, stay out as late as you want, that's the parent they want to live with. That's just natural. You are a strong man to continue this journey. There are many challenges, except nothing less than greatness, and move forward. Yeah, I mean, everything just kind of, you got twists and turns in life, and you just got to work your way through them. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to make the best of it and trying not to lose the house, because if I was to lose it, if they was to foreclose on it, I would still have to pay for it. The only way I would not pay for it is if I never got a job ever again to where they couldn't, garnish my wages, but I also wouldn't be able to file taxes, which would ruin my business because, with write-offs and everything, you got to do that to get that money back at the end of the year, that sort of thing. I don't want to go that route necessarily, like go completely off the grid where you're not filing taxes and all that BS or whatever. I've seen people do that, and I'm like, you're missing out. You're missing out if you do that. Let's see. I'm something of a burner of bridges. Yeah, some people do that. I try not to burn too many bridges, but you know what? Sometimes it's just not worth it. Sometimes, like, if somebody really does you wrong, you've got to make that decision. Are you done with them or not? And sometimes you got to say, you know what? You go your way, I'm going my way. Leave me alone, and don't be bothering me. And I've had some accounts on here that have kind of, I don't know, they said some crappy stuff to me, and I'm just like, whatever. Truth, JB, as parents, we need to protect our children as much as possible. I don't try to protect my kids from too much. I want them to have the street smarts. I want them, to know, like, real life. All right. I don't want them, sitting there putting up with, watching BS, right? Going around them. I've lived through enough stuff that I'm not going to talk about on here. But I've seen a lot. And at the same time, I think that actually makes me a better person for having witnessed certain things in my life and stuff. Rebecca Davis, Touched by Yarn. What's up? Said, hi, David. Things will get better. I hope so. Otherwise, what the heck am I doing? Divorces suck, period. Yeah. Yep. And it's taken me many years to accept the fact that that's what's going to end up happening no matter what. Um, I think it's just now it's got to the point where I finally figured out that in order for me to be happy, that's what needs to happen. And you know, before for the last 19 years, I've not given a crap if I'm happy. I'm just like, well, I got to be there for my kids. I got to make sure they have a roof over their head, make sure they got everything they ever needed. I mean, they have never really wanted for anything. I mean, I could go in the house right now and there's probably 3 or 4 Xboxes in their bedroom that they have ruined. There's several TVs in there. I mean, they've never had to want for anything. Like when I was a kid, we were dirt poor, and they've had everything, right? I've always made sure they had everything, no matter what. I've always made sure to provide for them and everything. I've done my duty as a dad and everything. Now they're getting older. My youngest son's 16 and has a job and everything. He ain't gonna move anywhere. Uh, he might want to stay here. I don't know. But the other thing is he's got to bring his grades up or he ain't going to have his job anymore. He's not going to have his pickup. I said, look, you got to do this. You've got to bring your grades up. You got to start doing your schoolwork. The heck with your job. You know, you don't want to throw away all of this for a job that pays you, you know, 12 to $14 an hour. Sometimes he makes 22 something an hour if he works for some like a telemarketing or something place making sales or something. And he does pretty stinking good. It's really surprised me. I guess he's a pretty good salesman. So if you got someone trying to upsell you on like internet or something on the phone, you might be talking to my youngest son. He's pretty good at it. I understand hard in relationship, but life is too short to live unhappy. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. For sure. Paul Honeyman, David. I have me, myself, and I, lefty. I'm ambidextrous. Oh my gosh, Paul. Paul! Come on, Paul. Quit it. That's funny, but come on. This is a family channel, Paul. You got this. Let's come shop. Don't be afraid to walk away from situations that distract from your purpose. Yeah. But as a parent, you feel a duty to, you know, make sure you don't fail them, right? And that's what I feel like my wife is doing. She is failing them. She has a friend, is actually the friend that gave my youngest son his pickup. She is actually, it's not really a homeschooling thing, but she's the one helping my oldest son get his GED. And I'm like, why don't you guys just want to finish out school? Why are you like, oh, I'm just going to go get my GED? Just because your mom did that doesn't mean that's what you need to do. If you could go to college, you know, and you could get a scholarship by staying in school, why don't you go for that, right? I guess they don't want to do that. And my youngest son, he's not as quick, I guess, as my oldest. My oldest son is just like, he's just super, super smart. My youngest son is more like me. He's a bit slower. I mean, he is a spitting image of me. And that's, I think, what probably kind of gets in between us is I see so much of myself in him. And I'm just like, I want to kick him in the pants and say, dude, pull your head out of your butt. Don't be lazy like I was in school and get her done. Yeah. Brother, they're paying premium for family starter homes. Yeah. Unfortunately, I got to get my wife's name off of it before I sell it. Otherwise, it would not be hard at all for her to get half of it, right? Um, I don't want to give her half of it, so that's what I'm looking at. I mean, I could put it on the market, maybe sell it next week. I've got a bus I could live in, but then I've got to move everything. That's another thing is to work towards, is like getting the property cleaned up, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, ton of work. Give yourself a break. I have lived that type of life myself. People seem to take, and don't realize the toll it takes on you, taxing your mind. God bless you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's what she got used to doing, was just take, and not putting anything in. All right, Don Lee, we'll see you. Oh, that lesson. I agree on taxes, write-offs, and such. I figure if it's worth keeping, I'll pull it out the ashes, use it in the new bridge. Divorce is hard. It hurts even if the best thing, the loss of hopes and dreams, negative memories, it changes a person. Mine was necessary. I wouldn't be abused, but with kids it's hard. Sasquatch said, I might be dysfunctional. Des, the hobo travel nurse. What's up, lady? She said, I'm sorry to hear this, David. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. But, hey, I've got awesome things to look forward to. Because, once it's me, myself, and I, just me, myself, and I guess, the sky's the limit on what I can do. And I'm going to have a bus to travel in, so that's going to be cool. I just got to get a job for right now until I can get things situated with the house where I can sell it and get out from underneath that. I mean, that's kind of my goal right now. My main goal right now is just to get out from underneath that payment of that house. And I don't even know that buying an off-grid property is really something I want to do exactly. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a place to land. But yeah, I don't know. May end up just traveling around in the bus. I don't know. Paige Shirley says, sound like you're an excellent provider and father. I was, until I gave up. I don't think my daughter forgave me for divorcing her dad until recently. I think my kids, they've lived around it enough, and they're just like, man, you should probably get a divorce. JB said, hi, Des. All right, Patty, we'll see you. Got to feed the critters. Take care. Crazy Ed said, hello, Des. I love watching Dez's videos. That is, like, when Des puts a video out, and I understand this is what a lot of you guys see whenever you guys watch my channel or other channels. It can be like the highlight of your day, and that's why I really don't like talking about this sort of stuff on my channel, because I don't want to bring other people down, but at the same time, they kind of need to, have a little bit of a background on like what I'm going through and everything, and why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I'm not settling for whatever. I'm trying to do better for myself and everything. I'm also trying to put videos out there to show you guys, look, you could do this. If you have the basic abilities or whatever, you can do this even on a super tiny budget. You could do something like this, and you could get out from underneath of a mortgage on a house or whatever, and become debt free to where you're not out there, in that rat race or whatever. and you get to live life and be happy. You know, figure out what your dreams are, write them down. You know, what do you call it? You know, put things in order of importance and everything. Des said, "Hey everyone." Sandy Wilkerson, Paul, I'm doing good also. However, this rain don't keep me from being in pain. Des, what? A $250 super chat. I wish I could do more. I pray these funds will help. Sorry you're going through so much. Thank you, Des. Thank you so much. That is super awesome. God, I cannot believe you. This lady, Des, has got a heart that's so big. I never advocate to walk away from children. Teaching and guiding is who and what parents are. Yeah, but I mean, I'm not walking away from them. I'm walking away from their mom, and they want to live with her. I mean, they're going to be close by. Um, you know, they'll be able to come over and visit whenever they want, or live here if they want. You know, if they want to live here, I'm not going to be selling the house. That's the thing. If they decide they don't want to live with their mom, they'd rather live here. They still got a place to go. So that's why I got to get a job and make this place a better home than what it is right now. It's not pretty. Sandy, I hear that. I get that way in my joints with the rain, but worse in the cold. Yeah, my kidney's been killing me, and I don't think it has to do with the weather. I did fall out of a deer stand one time, and I'm pretty sure I broke my ankle. I was 20 feet up, fell down, and messed my ankle up. And for the longest time, in the wintertime when it got cold, that ankle hurt so bad, but it's been getting better. Des saying, hi, Roberta. And Paul Honeyman said, wow, Des, you're such a great friend. Ain't she awesome? That's going to help out a bunch. Thank you, Des. She is an angel walking amongst us, I'm telling you guys. And when I watch her videos, I'm usually sitting there like just smiling all the way through it. I'm just like, this lady. All you can do is continue to be human. What projects do you have in store? Well, number one goal right now is find a job that pays good, and that I'm hoping I can get something that's not full time, something that will pay the bills, you know, keep the power on, pay the mortgage, and be able to save up a little bit to kind of put back into the house here pretty soon. I want to be able to save up, so I'll probably end up working full time for a while or something. I don't know. I'm really just looking for the right job right now, so I'm not miserable. Yeah, but let's see. I got the bed built in the back end of the bus. So the next thing I need to do is probably get the live edge walnut table put in here so I can move everything that's on this table over there, and then get the this wood burning stove right there that I got from Like a Bully Homestead, so I can get that installed right here where you guys are sitting. And I'm kind of thinking about doing some woodworking projects of some sort, maybe some coffee tables or something. If there's anything you guys would like, if you want to buy something from me, you might email me or something, and we can maybe figure out something like that. I've got a lot of wood here, and if you're fairly local and you can come pick up stuff, that would help me out, you know, and you get something out of it, right? Let's see. I'm looking forward to the rest of your build. Yeah, the build might slow down a little bit, but I'm going to continue to do build videos and everything. I'm hoping to at least do one video a week. So I want to try to get a job where I at least have like weekends off or something, or at least 2 days a week. That's why I really don't want to go over the road driving a truck. I mean, yeah, I can go over the road driving a truck and make, you know, $100,000 a year, but I would be miserable doing that. So I've got to find something local where I can be around here to do weekend projects and stuff, finish out the bus build and all that stuff. But, with this new light of, getting the loan redone and everything, that means I don't have to push so hard to, just hurry up and get the bus done. I can actually take a little more time on it, uh, you know, do a little better on the details and everything. Um, I tell you what, the one bus build right now that I am really, really excited about is Jaylena and Isaac. That bus build they're doing. I'm just, yeah. He's talking about doing that in like 2 or 3 months or something. I think 3 months is kind of their goal right now. And I'm just like, man, how can you put a time frame on that? And I'm like, well, I guess if you got the money to be able to buy the wood and everything, you know, that helps with getting things done quicker. But like what I'm doing, I'm milling a lot of the wood and then drying it, and then I've got to go through, like, for a lot of the boards that I use in this, I have to run them through the planer, run them through the jointer, run them through the table saw. I mean, it's a lot of work for each board, just to be able to use a board, versus like going to the store and just buying the stuff. So I am definitely doing this on a budget, a strict budget. That said, God bless you too, Ultimate Acres. Oh, cool. So the bus will be functional. Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping that I don't know. This is gonna be tight to try and get the bus. Um, I mean, I could probably bolt some things down in here and tidy things up a little bit. Take a lot of the tools and everything out, and you know, if I get the bus legal, I hopefully will be able to take it to Shoot Dang Fest. That's my hope. But it's very highly dependent on the job that I get. Um, yes, JB, divorce is hard on kids, even if it is necessary. They feel divided and often don't understand the internal conflict they live with until much older. I'm glad to hear things are good for now. Yeah, the kids get it. Des said, thanks so much, David. Thank you. Thank you, Des. JB said, Des, are you going to Shoot Dang? That would be cool. We got your back, David. Awesome. Thank you, Des. No, JB, my Hubbaton is working that weekend. I like those, like the weekend warrior type deals. I don't know if you guys are taking a bus out on those or whatever. But that's pretty cool. Dreams must evolve. You got this. I binge watch you all while I work hard. Thank you. I'm trying to have him try to get the time off. That would be super cool if he was to get off that weekend or something and make it out to Shoot Dang. And if I was able to make it, that'd be really cool. It'd be really awesome if you guys brought the bus out. Is he is he working, or are you getting him to do work at home? Yeah, JB said, "Oh darn it! If you ever get to work in Northeast Oklahoma area, give me a shout. I have an RV park. Got to feed my kids. We are camping at Lake Lanier. Cool. Well, I love. We lived in Arkansas for a time, and we would go. I think it was Heber Springs Lake down in Arkansas, and just that summertime, and like having bologna and cheese sandwiches with mayo or mustard and barbecue chips. There's just something about that combination was just like summer, That's what I'm picturing in my head right now. You guys being at the lake. It's kind of chilly here. It don't feel like summer right now. Hope you guys have an awesome day at the lake. Paul, he is working. I'm trying to get him to take that weekend. He won't let me drive Casper that far alone, and he don't want me to go alone. I think he would be jealous if I was having fun without him. Let's see, I'm wanting to have some more plaques made. Awesome, JB. I don't know that you have email or not. You might email me or call me later, JB. I think you probably still got my phone number. Let's see. Crazy Ed. That's what I'm thinking about doing, David, going back over the road. Man, you don't need to go over the road. You can work a local job like you should be able to make $20 an hour doing like a yard dog type job or something. I mean, everything I seen on Indeed around here local, like within 12 miles of my house, was like paying $20 an hour. And that's around the Osho Goodman area. That's not even working in Joplin. And I mean, honestly, wages for that should be better over there around where you live. Hello, Sunset. Sunset Farm, Ohio. What's up? I almost missed you. Had Ed not said anything. Yes, Dez is such a high energy person. I get a kick out of those videos every time. As soon as I see that notification, I click on there and start watching. Sometimes I don't comment until later. I'll be like, oh yeah, I didn't comment on that video. So I got to go back and watch again and comment. JB, you ain't wrong. I always get a smile on my face when I see a video from Dez. Yep. Very uplifting, Dez. Thank you so much for starting to put videos out again. I really love that. Dez, come to Oklahoma and spend some time here on Ten Killer Lake. It is beautiful here. Yeah, JB's down there right off of Lake Ten Killer, which it ain't too far away from where you got lost down there at the off-grid property when you was camping out underneath the bridge. If you guys haven't seen that video, you need to go check that out. When Des the Hobo Travel Nurse was out there hanging out with the Crockers, and she stayed the night, I believe it was in her car, under the bridge down there in Oklahoma, and she got lost. You guys, you need to go back through her videos. It's a ways back. I mean, a ways back. So go back, check that out. Start watching her channel from that point on. Rewatch all those videos. Go do it. That was pretty darn funny. Let's see. Honestly, it's custom shop. Most people are cheap, but want Trump Towers and Central Park on the cheaper free. True. Or the burning booty hole video. She's good at like making up stuff like that. I'm just like, man, like she's very creative with music and stuff, and pretty darn good at singing. Like if she really tries, she can do it. Crazy Ed said, I get that, David, but I need to make lots of money so I can get this cabin done. Or you could quit smoking, Ed. I'm just saying, man, 4 packs of cigarettes equals a sheet of plywood. And you need to quit smoking. I challenge you, Ed, to stop smoking now, today. Just do this. I don't smoke anymore. Okay? That's what I had to do. And I don't smoke anymore. So it wasn't easy. I know it's difficult, man. I tried quitting for years, and finally I just said, you know what? I'm not smoking ever again, and I was done. And it's worked out so far for me. Um, but yeah, if you figure it up, 4 packs of cigarettes, pretty much. I mean, like especially if you're smoking Marlboros or something, 4 packs of cigarettes equals 1 sheet of plywood. How many sheets of plywood do you need to put up on your walls? Uh, I know, like, I think like the biggest thing is like your vehicle is costing you out the wazoo for gas going back and forth to work. But I mean, that's what I was talking about before. Like, you write it down. Like, okay, this right here's costing me money. I got to chip away at that. I got to chip away at this. But you know, here's the thing: if you go out over the road, right, does it really pay that much more, or is it just paying for the extra that you're having to pay for, food and stuff like that? I mean, there's an added expense to living over the road, and that's pretty much what it's paying for. It's not really paying you any more for being away from home. That's the biggest problem I see in trucking right now. It just ain't worth it to go over the road unless if your record is good enough where you could get on with Walmart or FedEx or UPS. Those companies do pay good, like really good, but they're really hard to get on unless you got a lot of years of really good experience, no accidents or anything. Um, it I have an impeccable record, 21 years over the road, and just driving all kinds of equipment and everything. No accidents or anything. I had one incident where I got hit by a kid, but that's not on my record. So it would actually be kind of hard for me to get on at, say, Walmart or something. They like to go with people who are, I mean, if you've been an owner operator before, it's a little harder to get on at Walmart. They like those people that don't have those bad habits, right? I think that's what I'm trying to get at. Debbie Shrimman said, quit smoking. Quit smoking, Ed. I'm telling you, just quit smoking. That right there, and say, okay, this right here is what's going to get the plywood for my building. I know it's hard. I know it is. My dad kept a pack of cigarettes in his pocket, but didn't smoke them. Yeah, that was one thing. I had to do it for a while. I had a pack of cigarettes up on the dash in my pickup for a long time because if I knew they were there, I didn't want it so bad. But if I didn't have it available to me, it seemed like I wanted a cigarette even more. Um, and finally, I gave those cigarettes to Ed. I was like, here you go. I don't need them. I'm never going to smoke again. So, was that the Illinois River or the Barren Fort? I believe it was Illinois River. I don't know for sure. Teresa, I get that charcoal factory sucks, but it's making sure I keep my property. But if I go back over the road, I'll be gone for a year, save up the money, come back, and get everything done. That's what we all say, Ed. But I'm telling you, it don't make that much out there over the road. You might be able to get a local job with Ruan, RUAN, or JB Hunt, Schneider. If you could get a local, a dedicated route with like JB Hunt for Home Depot, get on a Home Depot run or something like that, where you're home every day, that would be cool. Those pay pretty good. But over the road, man, I'm telling you, it don't pay that much. I've been in it 21 years. I know. Cost me $150 a week for gas for my truck. Yeah, that's the tough one there. You ain't slow at all. Who's custom shop on that type of math? Man, please, you inspire me to let go of costly indulgences to save more money. And that's what I've had to do. I mean, if I was still smoking, I couldn't do any of the stuff I've been doing right now. Butt Nuggets shared Dez's channel. There you go, guys. There's her link right there. Thank you, Butt Nuggets. And good morning to you. I didn't see you in here. Debbie said, I smoked for 38 years and I got it done. It was hard, but I did it. I started smoking at about 15, 15 or 16, right around in there. And my dad found out because when I first got a job, I got a job at 16, so I guess it was about 16. I think I started smoking a little bit before that, but just every now and then, right? When I turned 16, I got my first job, and I was able to sell them to myself where I worked at, and he wouldn't let me drive my Bronco to school, and so I parked it up at the front of the trailer park. And while I was waiting on the school bus, I'd be sitting there smoking and flipping ashes out the window, and I didn't realize, hey, those ashes were sticking to the side of my truck. And my dad went up there like at noon or whatever to check the mail, and he seen ashes all over the driver's side of my Bronco. And I come home from school, and my dad's pet peeve was, you do not lie to me, right? And I come home, and he said, so when'd you start smoking? I was like, oh, man. And I knew better than to lie, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, don't you lie to me. I was like, oh, crap. I was like, okay, how'd you know? He goes, well, you got cigarette ashes all over the side of your truck. I was like, he goes, you know that's an expensive habit, right? I'm like, yeah, it is. And I just kept on smoking. And I should have quit. I should have quit. I should have never started. Crazy Ed said, I have a perfect driving record. There you go. If you're going to get a driving job, I would encourage you to probably, I mean, if you're going to go over the road, man, Walmart, FedEx, UPS, something like that, that's what you need to be looking for, because the LTL, like, what are they called? Like FedEx and stuff like that, those pay better, way, way better. Walmart pays pretty stinking good. For you and the years that you got in it and everything, you should probably be able to start out about 89 to 90,000 a year. Pretty much like doing a dedicated run. Be home, a few days a week probably. Good luck, Crazy Ed, if you try and quit. My dad was a chain smoker traveling as a child. It was like Cheech and Chong, smoke rolling out the window. LOL, any addicts is hard to break. Mine is food. Oh, there, Paul Honeyman says, Des gets stuck. Yeah, don't forget about Walmart. Walmart is who I was thinking about, because where I live, Bentonville isn't terribly far. It's probably an hour away from me. I think Bentonville's about 30, 40 minutes south of me. So I could work for Walmart dedicated out of there, and I would start out probably about 100,000 a year. But that's like selling your soul to do a job like that. I mean, I would have very little time to put anything into the house, to do weekend projects or anything like that. That's why I don't want to do it. I would rather have a local job where I make, say, 20, 25 bucks an hour, and chip away at everything, be able to have a life outside of work. I've spent too many years over the road working for people. I spent too many years building other people's dreams instead of building my own. And I finally said, you know what? I'm going to quit smoking. I'm going to quit like going out to eat all the time or anything like that. It used to be my wife got to go out to eat all the time. I'd go out to eat and stuff every now and then. Most of the time I was living out of that little 12-volt cooler that's underneath my bed back there, eating sandwiches and stuff, living on the cheap. That's what I did just to provide for my family. And I come home, let's say after making, $20,000 in 2 weeks, take home, and I would be gone for 3 months doing that. I come home and bills aren't paid. There's still no money. And I'm like, Not doing it no more. And that's when I gave up. And that's when I started, really working on YouTube, is when I just gave up on the house. I was like, we're going to lose the house. Why should I put any more into this? Why should I put any more into this relationship? That was the attitude that I had. I just gave up on everything. I was like, no, I'm done. I have worked and worked and worked my whole life and have nothing to show for it. So I'm done. I was just at the point where I said, I don't care if we lose the house, they're going to take it anyway. So now that I have, we've done the paperwork and sent it in this morning, and I'm not losing the house. Now my goal is, okay, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to, continue making the payments, fix the house up, get it sold, get out from underneath that mortgage. I am not getting a freaking mortgage ever again. That is, no, not doing it. I would rather live in this bus, be debt free, not have an electric bill ever to pay. Now, if I was to move this bus to an RV lot or something like that where I can hook into power and stuff like that, I might do that because that would make life a little easier. While I look for a property or something, I might do that, which wouldn't be the end of the world. But lot rent at one of those places is not $700 or $800 a month, so that would be a lot more doable. Paul Honeyman's dropping links. Thank you, Paul. Frito-Lay is a good one too. I'm thinking, isn't Frito-Lay like one of those that you have to bid on the route or something? I knew a guy in Joplin. I used to work at Petro, the truck stop, and I talked to a lot of those guys over the years. It's one way I know a lot about the trucking industry. But he owned his own Frito-Lay truck, and I think they bid on those routes. And I think some of the FedEx drivers do that, except for I think the over-the-road FedEx guys are just like company drivers, I think. Three Shan said, Ed, I am proud of you for working that hard job to keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. Don't just give up that job. It's a job, man. But if at the same time, if don't settle, but kind of see if you can find that dream job or something a little better. Hopefully you can pull something off like that. Always be looking for something better, but don't just settle for anything. Whenever you feel like, man, this is what it is, and this is what I'm stuck in, don't feel like that. There's always, you got to look, keep your head up and say, okay, I don't like this about my situation. How can I fix it? And start working on ways to fix that. David, I wouldn't price all the materials. I would need just to dry this cabin in so I can put the roof on, and this is without windows. It is $1,500 just for the material I need to finish the cabin to move. Yep. $1,500, and you got to start somewhere. Pack of cigarettes. That $5-6 for that pack of cigarettes. Whenever, I figured up, I was smoking, I think it was 2 packs a week, which ain't, I think you probably smoke more than that. But I was spending, I think it was close to $2,000 a year on cigarettes. So just by quitting smoking, you would already save, $1,500, $2,000 in a year. So that would put you a year closer to achieving that goal. There's other things, I'm not going to sit here and try to itemize stuff for you. That's your thing to do. But I'm just saying, you need to quit smoking. It'll help your health, for one. You might think about trying that. No, can't bid, but I know a gal here driving for them for years, and I know they need drivers right now. There you go. You might look into Frito-Lay, dude. JB said, I'm going to look at windows today. Ooh. There you go. That's awesome. Now you might look into Upwork too. That one place out there. I know we have this place here in town. It's like a mile and a half from my house. Uh, the wall that I did right here next to by the bathtub, the plywood in that, I paid $15 for that sheet of plywood at this place. It wasn't. I mean, it was kind of warped. It was still square, um, but it was $15. So always be looking for deals like that. Don't don't plan on going to Lowe's and buying everything at Lowe's or whatever. You got to think outside the box. Get on Marketplace whenever you have a few extra minutes or something, and just type in the word wood and see what you can come up with. I mean, you're probably going to find all kinds of posts in there. People, may have, some plywood or something left over from a job or a project or something that they're trying to sell. That maybe they couldn't return it or something like that. Think outside the box. Don't plan on buying everything from the store, and that could help you too on cutting that $1,500 down. I mean, everything in here, I didn't buy everything from the store. I mean, like the flooring, yes, I did, and that was very, very expensive. I'm going to look at windows today. I think she means she's going to look at windows for Crazy Ed, right, JB? Is that what you mean? Check out a fairly new channel. That MT Homestead did a shout out. Where'd it go? To call We Watch YouTube. Yes, I actually subscribed to We Watch YouTube last night. I seen their video where they gave a little potbelly pig to the Crockers, and some art and some earrings. I think they gave him a pig. I can't remember if it was them or not. But yes, I seen that video. I was like, oh, that's awesome. The art that little girl did and the earrings, I was just like, wow, that's awesome. So yeah, definitely go check out We Watch YouTube. That's the name of the channel. That was pretty cool. I don't even know what the lady looks like. I know that she went there to Beeline Feeds, met the Crockers and everything. That was pretty stinking cool. And the art, when I seen the art that little girl did of drawing Jared and Danielle and Jason, I was just like, that was pretty good. I love seeing art like that. Like, I love seeing people's talents and stuff. It blows me away, especially the youth when they have talents like that. Is just freaking awesome. Paul Honeyman said, and if you have not already checked out Mike and Terry at MT Homestead, please do. Awesome people. Yes, they're super awesome people. David, I got back on a lot of stuff since the last time you were here. I'm guessing you cut back on a lot of stuff. Okay? JB said, Ed, what size and how many windows? I think he could probably just go with any kind of like standard size window. And I think he said, what was it, 6 windows? 6 or 8, something like that. Ed said, David, I've cut back on so much stuff since the last time you were here. The last time I was there, he was smoking like a freight train. But he had a lot of stress too. So I get it. I used to be like that, especially when I got around a bunch of people. Being around crowds of people, that is when I really kind of have a lot of anxiety. And that's when I would smoke a lot. And it still happens. I mean, I don't smoke, but that's when I find that I start wanting a cigarette again, is when I get around a bunch of people. But I just have to like tell myself, nope, because I know if I smoke one, it'll start up again. Crazy Ed said, JB, 6 windows, and I don't care what sizes they are. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He said was 6. I would say probably what is a normal window, like 36 inches wide or something like that, or maybe 30 inches wide. They just need to be able to open though. And JB said, okay, just so they open, right? Yeah. Yeah, you want them to be able to open so you can air it out in the winter, or in the summertime. He's going to need to air it out in the wintertime with that big old wood burning stove he's got. He's going to have to crack a window most likely with no insulation. Let's see. Crazy Ed said, David, I've been looking for old barns to tear down, old houses to tear down. I've been looking for that kind of materials to finish up what I need. I don't want to go to the store and buy it. Yeah. Sasquatch said, I don't think windows come in normal. Well, I mean, you got your typical sizes, I think. I mean, I want to say like on my house, they're, I really don't know. I think like 32 inches for a normal width. But yeah, I mean, he can pretty much do whatever in there. If it was, let's see, we done the studs, I think, are on 24-inch centers. So if the window was, say, 24 inches wide or something, it probably, or 20 inches wide, actually. Yeah, 20 inches wide, I think, might fit in between two studs. JB said, I'm going to Habitat for Humanity today. That's where I got my kitchen sink from for 25 bucks. And if you was to buy one at the store, they're hundreds. And my tub was $350 for that. And I had to, refinish it and everything. So there was the paint, and then I had to buy the faucet. The faucet was a few $100s. I mean, that was almost as much as the tub. But had I went to Lowe's or something like that, just a shower pan was going to cost me a couple $100. And I thought, well, why not just get a tub, right? And at that time, I thought my wife and kids would probably move with me or live in the bus while we built a house or something. Just me in denial, right? That, she's been saying that she wants a divorce for a long time. So I'm, kind of in denial about that. I'm like, well, they'll probably live in the bus. And I was planning on building bunk beds in here. And then she's like, no, we're not moving into the bus with you and all this and that. And I said, okay, I guess that's it, final. I want to become debt free. I want to get out from underneath the mortgage on the house and everything. Let's see, I already read that one. Wow, my chat jumped up instead of down. Don Lee said, y'all are still here? We're still here. My lives they go on and on forever. I don't try to limit it to just an hour because like people just pop in. Go to a factory and ask for a warehouse window. There is a warehouse that's a little ways away from me. I'm trying to think. I think it's in Monette. They make windows over there. I don't know if they would have like windows that have like minor things wrong with them or something. I don't think they do. I think when they have a messed up window, they just trash it. Paul Honeyman, he's going to need to crack a window when he farts. Yeah. He was talking about putting some more house wrap on there. I'm like, I don't think you need to put any more on there. Crazy Ed said, JB, you don't have to do that. Yeah, I think JB wants to see this thing through, though, Ed. This is her project, Ed. It ain't yours no more. That's one thing I love about JB is she, when she decides that she's going to do something, she sticks to it, and she does what she says she's going to do. Try to get kids 50%, David. What? Why? they're old enough to decide, where they want to go or whatever. Um, I'm not gonna like force my kids to come here half the time. You know, uh, they're pretty darn close to kind of being out of the house and grown up and everything. I mean, my daughter is just she's like 14 going on 15 now, so it's not too many more years before they're gonna be out on their own doing their own thing and everything. I mean, they basically do their own thing right now. This is the life that never ends. It goes on and on, my friend. Try to get kids. Okay, I already read that one. Dadgummit. Why does this chat keep doing that? Warehouse windows are overproduction windows. Nothing wrong with them. Just can't pick details like color, glazing, fin size. David, you did it 2x4s on 8. What? You did it 2x4s on 18-inch. Okay, so it's 18-inch centers. Are you sure? I was thinking maybe we did do the walls 18, but I could have swore we did 24-inch centers on the walls. I was thinking we did it. Was it? Yeah, I can't remember for sure. I was thinking it was 24-inch centers on the floor joist, and 18. Maybe it's 18 on the walls. Okay. They need you more than you think, and child support's up. I ain't gonna pay no damn child support. I support my kids. I would pay. I do more supporting them than sending child support to the state. That's one thing I won't do is I will not pay any child support to the state because that doesn't actually go to the kids. The state takes it all. I went through that as a kid. My dad did not necessarily pay child support, but my grandma did. She took it out of his paycheck. She dealt with his funds and everything. But she would take the money and make sure that the child support got paid, right? That went to the state. And my mom did not receive that from the state. Okay. But technically, I guess my dad did pay child support, but the state did not pass that money on to us. My kids are a lot better off with me supporting them directly, making sure they have anything and everything they need. But yeah, there's not going to be any child support type, stuff with the state or anything like that. The state, I mean, I'm pretty darn sure me and my wife both are, on that one right there, that we're not doing any kind of child support. We're not fighting for custody or anything. We're just not doing that crap. The state is just money hungry and they don't need to, have anything to do with that. I've seen my brother, one of my brothers go through that with his daughter and the child support and everything and trying to fight for custody. I mean, she was a lot younger. And I'm just not doing that. Yeah, not doing the child support thing. But I will make sure that my kids have whatever they need. More than what they need, actually. I've always done that. Cindy Brown said, "Amen, David." Can you believe that? Been on here 2 hours and 9 minutes. Got 30 people in here. 31 thumbs up. David, I got 2 trees down. One was a cedar, I think. The other one was a black oak because they're growing into each other. I crawled up in the black oak and cut the cedar one down and then fell out of it. Dude, you better be careful. I don't know that you should be climbing up in trees out there with nobody else out there. I mean, maybe you got someone else out there watching you, but yeah. Way out there like that, do you fall out of a tree and get impaled by a limb or something on the way down, you're in trouble. if you can keep State out and she works, it will all be good. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my youngest son, he basically takes care of himself with his job, which I don't think he should have to do that or anything. I don't want him to have to do that, but he pays for his insurance on his pickup and all that kind of stuff. Um, you know, which is a lot. I seen how much he has to pay for insurance now. I mean, my insurance on my pickup is like $35 a month. Uh, what he has to pay is a few $100s a month, and I'm just like, dang, dude, that's crazy. I remember back when I was 16, I used to pay, I want to say it was almost $300 a month for full coverage on my Bronco, and I was like, man, I couldn't imagine having to do that anymore. But now with like my CDL discount and all that kind of stuff, I think it's right at $35 or $36 a month, something like that. Plus, I gotta pay that membership or whatever. Yep. Well, the chat's stuck. My coffee's almost gone. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to deal with the state on that stuff. It's just, yeah, I don't do that crap. What else do you guys want to know? Anything else? Anything? Hopefully I'll get a video edited here pretty soon. I was working on one yesterday for a little bit, and when I got up this morning, my laptop, for the time down there in the bottom right, it said 9:40 something p.m. and I was like, what? I clicked on it, my computer had froze up, and I lost all my work. Let's see. How old are your kids? All right, my oldest is 18. My youngest son is 16. My daughter is 14, going on 15. So, my oldest son, he's already moved out and moved in with grandma, my wife's mom. And main reason he moved there was because it's closer to his work. He's already dropped out of school, which I was totally against that. I was like, dude, you have a shot at college. Why aren't you going? I mean, he is super duper smart, but he had it in his head that he wanted to do pro football. And then he got hurt. His back got hurt really bad. Had to have, I think, 2 surgeries now on his lower back. And they're talking about maybe having to fuse it. I'm hoping that don't happen, but basically he can't play football. And he was wanting to go to I think it's University of Arkansas to play for the Razorbacks. I think that's down by Fayetteville or something. But since he can't really do that, I guess he's pretty much lost all hope of going to college. Let's see. Ed said, David, I will be having a get-together out here for a cookout, hanging out by invitation only. Man, I ain't been invited, Ed. What the heck? Why are you telling me about that? You didn't even invite me. Make me feel bad. I know where you live. You don't have to invite me. I'll find out when it is, and I'll just show up. In the bus. In the bus. JB said, that sounds awesome, Ed. Cindy said, that stinks, David. Hopefully he finds his path. Yeah. Don Lee said, I wasn't invited either. What the heck, Ed? Don Lee, that's a long ways for you to have to travel. But, maybe airfare will come down a little bit if you don't mind flying. I don't fly. I've never flown before. I don't plan on ever having to fly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I ever get on an airplane, that'll be the time the airplane goes down. So I'm not doing it. I ain't getting on no daggum plane. Let's see. Crazy Ed said, because I haven't decided when I want to do it. Yeah, my mobility scooter. Hey, you know, if you could figure out how to put a few solar panels on the back of your scooter, you might be able to make it. Until you get to Missouri, then it's, you know, cloudy and it might take you a few days to charge it back up. But all the way through Arizona, you might be good. You might have an overabundance of battery power. Uh, Cindy Brown said, if the good Lord wanted me to fly, I would have wings. Crazy Head said, Don Lee, I would never show up. Or wait, Don Lee would never show up. I want a Cummins turbo diesel on my scooter. Heck yeah. I've tried to get my youngest son to take interest in the 69 Chevy out there. And I was like, if you was to buy a motor and transmission and, you know, for that truck, I would give it to you. I'd sign it over to you. All you got to do is take interest and show me that you want it. You know, otherwise I'm not just going to give him the truck. He actually has to want it and, you know, show me that he wants it, but he ain't bothered with it yet. I mean, I see him put tons and tons of money into that old Dodge pickup that he's got. He's adamant that he's going to put a 12-valve Cummins in it. And I'm like, yeah, sure you are. You realize how expensive that is? I dropped $8,000 in a 400 small block Chevy for my 1-ton truck, and then that motor blew up. I still got it in the shed out back. Now that I know how to rebuild it myself, I could take it into a machine shop, get it machined again, buy all new pistons and everything for it. That's what sucks is it had all brand new pistons. It had a large cam, what they call an RV cam in it. It was built up real nice. It was a gas hog, but it had power. And the guy that built it for me, he over tightened the rocker arms for the valves, and it shelled out the cam, and the metal from the cam just embedded in the pistons and just ruined everything. So I need to get it rebuilt, and then I can drop it in that truck. But I need to get a transmission for it too. One of my brothers, not the one you guys seen on here, but my other brother, he borrowed that truck for a little while, and I don't know what he did, but it shelled out the transmission, and that's when we ended up pulling the motor and transmission out. Cindy Brown said, oh damn. Oh dang. Oh shoot dang. Yep. Yeah, I've been on here almost 2 hours and 20 minutes, 2 hours and 18 minutes. I think I'm going to have to get off here, go use the bathroom, and see what else I can work on today. I don't know that I'll get anything done today. Hopefully I'll get something done. Any last words, y'all? I wish you luck, Ed. Hopefully I can get the bus legal and everything and be able to come out there sometime. We used to have a 2500 Suburban with a 454, got 8 miles per gallon downhill with the tailwind. I'm going with my daughter to Costco today. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to leave it at that. We'll see you guys probably Friday morning on the live then. See y'all later. Bye, Don Lee.